Hello, Kalu Kalay. My name is Notepad, and on and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? It actually rhymed. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to Schola Maleficarum, a game about going to school and being wizards and doing wizard shit. Yes, hello. Last time on Wizard Ball Z, we managed to get the magic system done. I say that with the appropriate tilde at the end there because it's a little messy, but it works. This is all of the various magicalness behind things. You're pretty much going to choose your definition, you're going to choose your domain, then you're going to be choosing various implements that you have to reduce the cost, trying your best to find things to reduce the implements that you can do. Make your life a little bit easier in the long grand scheme of things. One of the big things being shifts and payments. I did split this up between difficulty kind of being its own thing to kind of more easily highlight like, hey, difficulty should be like the first thing you actually look at. The very first thing you should look at when you're actually trying to reduce the cost of a spell very much is the difficulty of the spell. It's finding something appropriate and then rolling that shit. Which is the value of certain developmental skills like sustainment, for example. Sustainment doesn't really have a lot of non-magic use, but it's like, yeah, okay, cool. I know this. I have some magical skills to do things. I'm going to use sustainment, which a lot easier for older students because they have higher sustainment. You're going to then start taking shifts and payments. The goal is to get this below your discipline, which is going to start pretty fucking low, all things considering. As you can see here, your flow is going to start at 5. Yes, 5. And these spells are actually quite expensive, so it's kind of like early wizards are going to really need to use this system more than older ones. But if you kind of look in here, you're going to choose a number of shifts to kind of reduce down the cost of spell. Because that's what you want to do. You want to reduce down the cost of a spell to a more manageable level so you can successfully use it. Now, kind of go to see here, I set everything up. It's not the greatest setup in the world because as you can kind of see here, this is a little bit wonky. This is due to, fun fact in case anyone asks, this is due to this. As you can see here, I had to make it a little bit off-center simply just because of how the tables were. Like, setting this up was a pain in the ass. Like, do not think this was not a pain in my goddamn ass. It was. But the things I do for you all. But we're gonna do Carlos and Scrying Eye real fast. He's gonna cast the spell today. So yes. Carlos wants we want to do with 21 flow remaining. 21 flow remaining. Carlos must reduce it to my 16 flow to use the spell. He chooses to make the difficulty TN1. Target number 1 on a difficulty target number 1, 5 up complexity. Relying on his. Let's actually see what Carlos actually had, because Carlos was an interesting duck because he actually had some deep skills. I said, Carlos, where are you, Carlos? There, Carlos. There we go. He's going to use his insight, or rely on his insight 2, his insight to succeed. This is kind of difficult for him. Difficulty 1, complexity 5 up. This reduces the spell flow 11. This reduces the spell flow to 11. Let's see what other ones can he add. He's not chaining the spell together. He's not adding an area of effect. He doesn't really have any mandatory objects that he really wants to use on it. He only has an implement. That's not really counts as one of these things. The type of target is technically conscious life. It's actually intelligent life. This reduces spell flow to 11, but the target is actually but the target is intelligent life. Is intelligent life plus 10. But just another student like him. So we're back up to 21. He chooses to make a gamble. He chooses to make a gamble. Make a gamble. Let me see. Taking. I should bump up the costs here. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 20, 24. There we go. 1, 3, 5, 9. So he's going to do. He chooses to take a gamble, taking a medium trauma. So let's see. Medium trauma is technically 15. Medium damage, taking medium damage. Medium damage, negative 15. So 21. It would be 21 minus 15. He's going to use both of these normally, and it's going to take him, and taking him 5 minutes. 5 minutes to set up. With a little cover. Carlos reduces the spell flow. Reduces the spell flow to 5. The 5. But he's worse for wear. He looks drained and barely able. And let's see, but he looks drained and clearly sickly. But he now knows Malfit doesn't have his notes. There you go. Put that right there. Malfit does not have his notes. The full spell calculation is going to be, if I remember, let's go all the way up. Let's roll through all the definitions fast. Perceive illusion, which was 13 plus 15. So he has 28. 28 base. We go down here. He's reducing it by negative 5, focus, negative 8, implement, plus 6 modifier, kind of like an exterior little modifier to the issue. If we go down here, we look at this would be difficulty 1 plus 5 complexity, difficulty 1 plus 5, negative 10 difficulty, plus 10 intelligent, plus 10 target, negative 15 blood payment. And finally, negative 1, which is negative 1, setup. equals 5 flow. Equals 5 flow. So let's actually do my math correctly to see if I actually did my math correctly, because that's a gamble and a half, everybody. I'm not gonna lie here. That is a gamble and a half, because I'm fucking stupid. If we plug that in right up here, it is exactly 5. Good job, me. Hello, what did I miss? Nothing at all. Good morning. Always good morning. Hello, Notepad. How have you been doing? Did I remember Futurism Borgia correctly? Close enough. When does the Futurism Gen end? Real life shit happened and I got busy. You have a grand total of 5 days. Ends on the 15th. Yes, it ends next Thursday. Yes, the inconvenient time of next Thursday. It's gonna be great. Ooh. Oh. 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 Hello. I'm shitposting in blue server because I have to shitpost in blue server because people keep proposing weird shit, and it's like, no, stop that. Someone tried to pull the, oh, well, in my setting, I want men to be stronger than women, but women have more magic. Someone tried to pull that. It's like, my brother in Christ, we all know what you're trying to do here. Don't think you're being unique about things, please. But just don't think you're trying to be like super cool and unique. We all know what you're doing. God damn it. Why are you such an awkward number? Can I get you down to 9? There we go. Full spell calculation. There we are. Alpha sent the scrying eye. This is kind of the thing with spells, is that you really need to try to find ways to get around things. Being like, don't target Malphus. Malphus is going to increase your fucking difficulty by 10. Spy on your notes. You already know it. You wrote it. Why don't you just have some input of your handwriting, and you're going to be able to find that shit a lot easier. It's a lot of technicalities in this game. Being like, can you find the way to, like, actually, you know, find the thing you're looking for? How dare they have ideas. In my world, men are degenerate and women are degenerate. What was he trying to pull on? Blue pill, men are stronger than women, but women can use magic. Red pill, women are stronger than men and taller than men can use magic. The thing is, people have this obsession, and I don't know why. They have the obsession with saying, hey everybody, I want men to be stronger than women because that's historical and really accurate. But they always try to compensate with like, but women can use magic better. It's like, my brother in Christ, like, if you want to put in -4 strength, just put in -4 strength. Just do it. Come on, do it. Do it. My personal philosophy is, yeah, you can kind of have whatever strength you want or whatever like that. I've never thought like the -4 strength thing made any sense to me. Mostly because it's the idea of, one, you're already exceptional people. Exceptional people are exceptional. And it's just like, yeah, a 18 strength man and an 18 strength woman are technically the exact same. Are there more 18 strength men than 18 strength women? Yeah, a little bit, but that's also like saying, you know, aren't as attractive, have higher charisma on average, or things like that. So like, if you really look at like base averages and shit, it's like, yeah, it's not going to really mean anything because you're exceptional fucking people. That's the fucking point. And if you already have an 18 or whatever in that shit, that already means you're doing pretty fucking good. But yeah, there's a reason you don't really see any of the like gendered stats anymore. And if you do see the gendered stats, it's either for a very distinctive reason, like, well, in the but more realistic OSR gritty dark peasant simulator stats. Don't get me started on that shit, Sterner. We got shit to do that tomorrow. Have no fear, everybody. Because we're going over the greatest game of all time, Shadow Dark, tomorrow. Oh boy, Shadow Dark. But, it's usually when I see that, it's like, you're gonna be weird about it. Like, the fact that you brought it up as, like, a major thing already, like, you're gonna be weird about it, because that's what they always do. Never heard of it. How could you not hear about Shadow Dark, the largest, greatest OSR role-playing game of all time? It's so great and amazing, they just made it 5e. It's great. This is Shadow Dark. Right here. This is the Shadow Dark RPG. You can now buy the game. It's $30 effectively, as you can kind of see here. It's some classic OSR thing, but have no fear, everybody. Have not a single fear. Yes, you have the exclusive right of making the first OSR game to be also inspired by 5th edition. Because that's what Shadow Dark is, everybody. Shadow Dark is 05R. Yes, that's kind of the, like, yeah, it's Shadow Dark. Let's bring up the Shadow Dark. Shadow Dark Kickstarter real fast to kind of give you an idea why I find it very fascinating to talk about. Oh, look at this! Over $1.3 million. $1.3 million because it's old school gaming modernized. Because, man, I love 5e players, what they're waiting for. An intuitive and complete TTRPG that seamlessly bridged into the heart of the OSR. Yep, literally the second paragraph you learn is that 5e players will love it because it's 05R. It's a little bit interesting to talk about with this particular game because it's like, oh, Shadow Dark is powered by Lanceborg. It's not. Here's the thing. Spoiler warning for tomorrow. It's just boring. Like, I'm gonna show you a unique thing. You see this? You see this right here? Here, let me blow it up for everybody here real fast. You see this? This is the entirety of the fighter class. This is an entire page. This section, this is 2 pages, don't forget. This is a page, this is a page. This is the entire fighter class. Every single aspect of your character is here. You level up, you roll on this talent chart. You level up, you get 1d8 hit points. You can use whatever weapon you want, you can use whatever armor or shield you want. You get these 3 bonuses. I've completely taught you how to make a character already. Because you already, like, here's the thing. Why does this remind me of Giant Lands? Oh boy, everybody, you damn well know. You're on the right track there, McDrewsalt, because this is actually a philosophy that Giant Lands did. And which I disliked immensely because it was dumb. Oh boy. Because yeah, you might kind of see this a little bit, which is like, oh, you get an additional weapon mastery. You get +1 to melee and ranged attacks. You get +2. This is legitimately every single aspect of character right here. You want to play a fighter? Do this. 3d6 down the line. Don't think about it too hard. Don't roll above a 14 on something. Just re-roll everything. It's fine. Yeah, it's I'm amazed. It is literally $30 for a game you can get for free. It's great. It's amazing. But today we have to learn about the education system. So let's start writing about the education system. Yeah, no, it's unfortunately Wuso has been showing cursed content at me recently of the brand new mecha darling coming out. What's your opinion on the 100 OSR class pyramid? Most of those classes do the exact same thing. Oh, well, I'm an acrobat. Well, I'm an acro thief. It's like, oh, cool. Again, most classes can be broken down into actually, most classes can be broken down into 3 things. There's a guy who hits things, guys who sneaks around things, and guy who casts wizard shit. Oh, but I'm playing a cleric. You cast wizard shit. Oh, well, I'm playing a fucking warlock. You're casting wizard shit. Oh, well, I'm playing a bruiser. You bash things. I'm a thief crop psycher, thank you very much. You mean you're a thief? I am a thief. I am a thief. I am a thief. I am a thief. We reject you the time. So what would a gish be? Sadness. Or an elf. If we want to be real specific, elf. Why even bother taking a bunch of different classes? They all do the same thing. That's why I never liked Long War 2. Yeah, it's... having a lot of classes do the exact same thing sometimes defeats certain purposes to things. And the thing is, Joystar, this is actually also, hello, this also brings kind of a unique thing to talk about when it comes to that, which is the idea of, you know, races class. Which I'm going to have to talk about tomorrow a little bit more. But races class is kind of a bizarre situation. Because it's like, yes, here's an elf. The elf class is technically, by all accounts, a fighter and a wizard at once. What do they do? They fight and they wizard. You do 2 different things, but you don't do either like super well. Or it's like, you're a dwarf. What does a dwarf do? You're a dwarf, you're a super fucking fighter. That's what you do. Used to be part of a YouTube team. I was in charge of translating Hebrew jokes and managing money. I was the Jew of the team. Why even having a bunch of different classes? Let's see. You have to pick a D&D class to be IRL. What would it be as you 5 levels of class features? Pain. We wouldn't be playing fucking D&D. Let's play my Traveler character and roll really well and get a spaceship for free. Unless it's DCC or funnel meta, protect the elf. Hey, Spellblades can be fun. What do you do? Oh, I do Jew stuff, you know. Oi, you know how it is. It is what it is. Oh goodness. Oh, you're Paul. I see. With his juicing directly attack the enemy's credit score. And for insulting his people under the Pharaoh, he directly attacks Bert's credit score. Okay, so the education system. During their years in education, the wizards are required to take classes, develop their skills, and become functional members of society. While many wizards attempt... While many wizards find themselves... Let's see. During the school year... During the school year, The wizards will be attending classes and completing assignments. Let's see, attending classes, completing assignments, doing their part to further their education. Doing their part to further their education. The year, let's see, the year is split up. Kaloo. The year split up into Is this Hogwarts? It's inner city Hogwarts. Actually, the year is split up into 4 quarters. Let's see, the year is split up into 4 quarters. Each one. Let's see, the year is split up into 4 quarters, 2 for each semester. Wow, that's great. That's a good key and piece. Originally, this game was going to be a little bit more serious, but during the literally the first hour of development, someone brought that up and it was over. It was just over. The year split up into 4 quarters, 2 for each semester. During the quarter, the wizards will be dedicating time and resource. We'll be dedicating time to various classes. As well as managing their free time to explore, be exploited. Explore, be exploit, or exploit others. Let's see, or exploit others. They each quarter will have, how do I want to word this? It would be actually no, each quarter will have 5 blocks. We'll have 5 blocks of classes that the wizard will take. Footnote. But no, there are more than 5. There are more than 5 classes. Is the Evangelion game a next project, or is that later down the line? It's just been added to the list, kind of thing. I've been debating on this Ava project for a while at this point. It's like, how do we formalize everything down to a more precise point? Which, for those wondering, here's the this is the video, as you can kind of see here. I did get copyright blocked, by the way. As you can kind of see, the beginning and the end of the video got blocked. And I can't show it in Cyprus, Georgia, Papua New Guinea, Russia, or Turkey. I have no idea why the King Records in particular hate the Russians. But sorry, Russo bros. Nothing for you guys. A little bit slower than the first video, but it happens. Most likely I will put up the Candelabra Obscura as well as the mythical case next week, and just do those right back to back with one another next week. Don't know what the videos are going to be next week though. Still kind of debating on that. Oh no, what about the people of PNG? New Guinea has internet? I bliat. Yes, it's most likely right there. Ooh. It's most likely next week will be 2 pretty standard videos. I'm not going to feel too committed to do a classroom or a design thunk this month because I did the 2 Evangelion videos. Which hopefully people enjoyed those videos. I put a lot of work into them. I put far too much effort into each of them for what they were. But no, there are more than 5 classes in the then other, let's see, we'll have 5 blocks of classes wizards will take, increasing their development skills for each. Increasing their development skills for each. The nature of the, let's see, the nature of these classes determines how many points they are. Actually, increasing their developmental skills and magical aptitudes. Let's see, determines how many points they are able to distribute among their skills. How many points they were able to distribute with more focus classes. Classes are going. Let's see, with more focus classes. Being dedicated to a single skill, to a single aspect, while more broad classes increase many skills a little. Early in the wizard's education. There will be pre-assigned general education courses. They must take. However, as they grow older, they will be able to. As they grow older, they'll be able to take more electives. They'll be able to take more electives. Their choice. When you're 10 years old, you're pretty much going to get like 2 electives that you can freely take. The later on you go, the more stuff you're going to actually start getting. You're going to have more opportunity to really focus on particular skills. So we're going to break it down into 2 categories. No, not gen eds. Focus courses, broad classes. We'll call classes versus courses. Would you make a game about being a cam girl or a cam boy? If you got paid a shit ton of money for it, yeah. Always remember, very few things are off limit when the money starts flowing. If there's money to be had, I'm a little bit more open to ideas. If there's no money abound, I'll give a firm thumbs up and be like, yeah, I believe in you. So focus courses, actually, we'll switch these around. Broad courses, focus classes. Focus classes +2 development. +2 to a developmental skill, or -2 to a magical aptitude. +1 to 3. 3 developmental skills in the same category. +1 to 3 developmental skills in the same category. -1 to 3. -1 to 2 domains, or 2 actually -1 to 3 domains, or 2 -1 to 3 domains, -1 to 2 scripted description. That's not it. I completely forgot the fucking name. Definitions, that's it. -1 to 2 definitions. There we go. To just a magical aptitude. Like, it's always hard to get, actually, or definitions. Class type. Grow older, they'll be able to take more electives of their choice. Okay, so we understand that these are pretty easy here. How am I going to set this up? We're going to let's slap an image right there. So let's see. We need to make a table. We need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First year, second semester. 6 technically. So we do like this. This. Block number 1, 2, 4, 5. These all need to be 2.2. Can I get away with 2.1? Yes. We have our block number. This is going to be our block number. This is going to be first year. First year. We're just going to put that right in the middle. Quarter 1, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Semester, first semester. In semester. There we go. Second semester. There we are. If we want correctly, we this change the font to white. This something like that. Yep, first year, second semester, first semester, second semester. We then put open sans. We'll just put you to normal, so we understand that you're normal, not weird. And reduce the size of all of these down a little bit. We reduce that down even further. Let's reduce it to 9. There we go. So do that. Can we get away with extending? Go. Fine. That's our block number. This is our block number. This is first semester. This is second semester. Okay, so first semester, we already know pre-established you're going to take a stemma course. You're going to take a civics and history course. You're going to take a physical education course, and you're going to have elective. You're going to take another stemma course. Two stemma courses, civics and history course, arts course. Going to do arts course. I can probably rearrange a bit easier. Let's see what skills we have. We are young children. We need to have good skills. We're going to be taking we'll take communication course. So let's see, we have arts, civics and history. Communication, physical education, stemma, and wilderness. We don't need to worry about wilderness early on. So, actually, if we go all the way down here, stemma, you're also going to be taking a communication course. You really don't have much that first course, unless I do something like this. There we go. It's gonna be stemma, civics, history. Second semester, it's going to be primarily something looking like this. A little bit more freedom your second semester, but this is what your first year is really going to look like. You're not really going to have that much of an opportunity to do things. Nopan, have you ever made a play system where the players are rulers of a place? Doesn't have to be a gigantic title like king or emperor, just chief or clan or baron or even a marquette. Yes. Yes, I did technically do that once a long time ago, and I did it again actually. This is the most recent version. This is probably the cleanest version. This is a Saga of Blood, Iron, and Soil. Technically, you run an Icelandic clan in this one. Yes, you run an Icelandic clan in a relatively historical, quote-unquote historical, game about dying miserably, and it's based off of Blood, Coin, and Steel, which does explicitly expect you to be lords and ladies of a vaguely medieval place-time thing. I do add some bits down here of like, yeah, you want some more gonzo settings? Here's how you make some more gonzo settings. So yes, I have done it before. I've been wanting to do something a little bit more grand in it, if that makes sense. But doing such is a little bit harder than I think. Okay, so second year, we want to do stemma. You're going to take a stemma course every quarter minimum. You're going to take a civics and history course. Actually, you're going to take 2 civics and history courses. Like that. You're going to take a communication course like that. Then we're going to do arts physical education. So it's going to look like this, kind of both directions, and the rest are just going to be electives. Let's see, am I missing? No, okay. Again, It's like one of those things, like, they really want you to go into STEMA early on because they want you to actually know how to do, like, math. Third year, they're going to be a little bit more generous in how they kind of choose to give you guys freedom. It's going to be second quarter is pretty much just going to be second quarter of each semester. So second and fourth quarter are going to be purely elective driven. However, you still need to take one STEMA course, and not a civics and history, and a communication course. And we're going to put you to arts course. Actually, no. They're going to do, so it's going to look like that. And then we're going to have a arts. We're going to have an arts course, and it's going to be a civics history course. 3 electives. Yep. And then fourth year, actually, yeah. I'm going to cut out that elective, that art. I'm going to say it's going to be elective. Physical education, we're going to cut out physical education. You don't need as much as other ones. So you're going to be pretty stuck in on those initial ones. Fourth quarter, you're going to always get elective. You're always going to get your electives on this one. Fourth quarter, you're always going to be able to choose whatever you want to do. Get a little bit more generous. Fourth quarter, fourth to seventh year. Actually, fourth to sixth year. Going to be pretty generous there, which we're going to then do seventh year. Seventh year is going to be tested. There we go. The entire second semester of your 7th year is going to be entirely dedicated to testing and nothing else. So passing classes gives you skill bonuses. Not necessarily passing classes. It's just going to them. You're always going to get a little bit by just going to courses. Instead of having a traditional way of leveling up, it's, for example, your first quarter, when first quarter is done, which generally speaking is going to be about, I'm estimating every quarter to be about 2, maybe 3 sessions at most. It might even be just 1 session of you like, yeah, welcome to school. Here's some weird shit going on. You're going to be able to kind of start assigning things there. If we really want to be a little bit more precise about things, what I should do is be a little like, give them stuff in here. But that first year, to give you an idea, like that first quarter, you complete your first quarter, you're going to have minimum +1 to +1 to 3 STEMA skills, +1 to 3 civic skills, +1 to 3 communication skills. And these could be anything in those categories. And it might seem like, oh, well, you know, I'm getting a bunch of like little bonuses and stuff. It doesn't really add up. You can go to a maximum of 3 early on. And they start at 0. That's one thing about this. Like, all these skills technically start at 0 a lot of the time. So it's like, you actually kind of need to lean on these courses a little bit more. And I don't know what's going on outside. If you do choose to take some more focused classes, it's like, okay. But you also have to remember is you're not reducing any of your magical aptitudes at this point. You're not reducing any of that really. It's like, okay, we're, it's like, oh no. Actually. have you written anywhere in the rule that each quarter should be about 2 sessions? Seems like is a huge part of the pace of this game. Yeah, I know. It's the problem with it is that I don't know how people are going to pace the game. I genuinely have no fucking clue. Because I'm not really dictating like, hey, you should go this speed, you should go this speed. And I don't really want to dictate that either. Like, that's kind of like one of those moments as well. Because if you're playing like if you're playing a game is just welcome to Wizard High School, fuck off, let's go. That's going to be a very different beat if you're playing The Breakfast Club with the Wizards versus we're playing like Harry Potter, in which if you're playing just strictly Harry Potter game, then you may want to do like, yeah, every quarter is like 3. But you're building other rules under that assumption. You're not warning the end user about it. Words, Noonie, my brother in Christ, you make brave assumptions that I know what I'm doing. Your standard recommended pace. You make brave assumptions that I know what I'm doing. I didn't even have this planned out until right now. Okay, so actually, if we want to do things correctly, not everything written out, though. Each quarter takes. At the start of the quarter, the wizards will determine any electives they wish. If they have any available. Determine any electives they wish. Depending on the pace of the game. Each quarter will be around 2 to 3 sessions. Around 2 to 3 sessions in length. With each session being actually I'm gonna say 1 to 3 sessions in length, with each session encapsulating a story, a small series. Actually, with each of the quarters being there, either being or a separate story, or tied to particular classes, separate story, tied to classes the wizards are taking. Let's see, being their own separate stories tied to classes the wizards are taking, or being their own separate story tied to classes the wizards are taking, or when the quarter ends, the wizards will distribute their points. To their assigned section. Let's see. The wizards will distribute their points to their assigned sections. Wizards will distribute the points they have gained. If a wizard has violated a rules or stipulation, any rules real or imagined, they may have to undergo detention. Detention removes an elective option option from the, let's see, detention removes an elective option from the class schedule. Class schedule, removing options for the removing options wizard. Moving options for the wizard and restricting their movement. And restricting their movement. Finally. Classes taught to the wizard for particular skills, abilities, or options. Ah, God, it's final. I can see it in my head. Actually, no. How do I want to? I don't know how I want to. Actually, no. Actually, personal study, there we go. It should probably be a standard recommend. You can tell people are free to change 2 sessions to 1/4 pace, but knowing the baseline is important. Let's see. I'm gonna say, you know what? Each quarter will be around 1 to 3 sessions in length. I think that's a good one. I mean, like, this is what our baseline is going to be. It's going to be about 1 to 3. So getting through your first year is either going to be 4 sessions, or it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12. That's going to be a long fucking time. Actually, 4 sessions for your first year. Like, your early years, actually, I should do. I'm going to put a note at the very end here. I'm going to put a side note being like, if you want to hurry up the fucking pace, here's how you do it. Finally, let's do finally during the testing season. During the testing season, often the final quarter of the year, there will be reduced classes as students prepare themselves for exams. I'm going to put that right there, and I'm going to explain exams after this. So it's like, here's what your basic schedules are going to look like. I'm actually going to put a side note. I'm going to put a fucking side note. We'll do a side note. Are these mandatory? No. These class schedules are quote typical are typical ones, but certain schools will have different emphasis. Will have different emphasis. Schools focused. Most modern schools focus on career development, skills and day-to-day skills rather than strictly magic, due to the volatility of young wizards. We need to teach you how to do fucking math so you're not stupid by the time you're there and relying on magic to do everything. You need to learn how to use a fucking computer. We live in the 21st century. You need to learn how to actually speak to other people. We live in the 21st century. That's kind of the idea there. It's like, we need to beat into you basic skills for doing things. Like, please fucking God, do something right. It's like, due to the volatility of young wizards, however, shift, change, and even remove blocks of study if the pace demands it. We're gonna put the mandatory, no, you can. What I want to get across the idea being like, early on, you have a lot less freedom of movement. You're 10 years old, you're 11 years old, you're 13 now. Actually, you would be 10, 11, 12. You're about 12. You're about 13-ish by the time you hit this year. You can freely do whatever you want in your 4th or 6th year. That is your prerogative. You can do whatever the fuck you feel like at that point. Like, if you want, by the time you hit your 4th year, you have complete control of where you want to bring your character. These early years, what I want to do, this is from a game designer perspective, what I want to do early on in these ones is get you a good rounding of skills, as well as kind of figure out where you kind of want to bring your character. Carlos, for example, Carlos is going to really enjoy taking all these STEM courses. That's what he wants to do. That's what he's focused on. And that's what he enjoys. He wants to be really robust in that. However, for his other electives, he may want to focus on, I want to really focus on, getting my magic up because I really care about magic. Other people may be like, I am severely fucking lacking in, like, my actual, like, physical development. I'm a little weak goblin boy. I need help. I'm a little noodle boy. I'm a little noodle man, and I need help. And it's like, okay, you're a little noodle man. You need help. So, hey, as a little noodle boy, you're going to want to take some more physical education courses, obviously. And you may want to take other things. That's why I also kind of brought up these other ones, where it's like later on, you may say, hey, I'm going to take 2 of my electives because I am learning from the weird groundskeeper hedgery. And if you're learning from the weird groundskeeper hedgery, that's not really something you can, like, personally learn necessarily. That is, he is teaching you, and you're taking time off from your studies, you're not focusing on it, but you're learning a lot from him. And that's like, hey, this is one of the few times you get hedgery or whatever. Or personal study being like, you're not really focusing in class because you're trying to pull off a gigantic fucking spell or something. You are dedicating time, instead of trying to get more skills, you're dedicating time to completing a massive spell, a super big project. You're trying to accomplish something. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea of, like, if you kind of break these down, actually, we add an image right there because we haven't had an image in a while. Like, we haven't had a big image in a while. We need to throw in some color probably right here, but right here, we're going to bring in who's pinging me. Hello, Phase Connect. Okay, so, oh, another person's pinging me. I love it when people ping me randomly. So much fun. Everyone's losing their shit. So you go to wizard school without learning. So you can go to wizard school without learning to be a wizard. You can go your entire career if you want to and not pick up a single other point in your magical aptitudes. If you really want, you totally can. And you would be a very well-rounded, good individual. You're incredibly smart. Most of your... It's one of those things where, yes, you can. You don't need to cast any magic to do well. On the other hand, turns out when the guy who doesn't like you very much can cast the, your balls run away, fuck your cock, ability, and you remove your cock. It's like, well, I can't really counter that at all. Whoops! Dumbledore, smack his nuts! Alright, I'm playing a math kid who doesn't feel like he's going... Skedaddle, skadoodle, your dick is now a noodle. Yeah, it's one of those things where... And in kind of the exploration phase, I kind of need to, like, bring up the fact of, like, you're going to wizard school. You damn well know you're going to wizard school. And there's going to be some magic shit going on. If you're not prepared for it, you're not. Go for it. You can still cast magic. It's going to cost a lot more, though. Encountered a mega demon that decided to pass by school because he was bored or cast his way to local edgelord. Snape, smack his nuts. Yeah. It's kind of, yeah, that's kind of the idea. It's like, yeah, without magic, technically you can go through the entire year without learning much magic. Problem is, when you need magic, you don't have any. And it's like, well, hopefully we don't need that. You will, but hopefully we don't need it. So we're going to put a big note right here. Side note, pacing and beat. The semester quarter block. Semester quarter block, the year semester quarter block system, the year semester quarter block and block system system may seem both a bit slow and incredibly quick. Overall, this is planned for a quote sliding scale of time in some respect. A sliding scale of time in some respects. Under the 1 to 3 session per quarter, a full tenure at university, a full tenure at school. The 7 times a full tenure at school will take 28 to 7 times. It would be 12 to 84 sessions. It'll take 24 to 84 sessions. Full tenure at school will take 28 to 84 sessions. However, this may not be the ideal pace for certain groups who want to tell a more focused story in a particular time and place. Time skip when if you employing a time skip is justified to speed to the end of a semester. be to the end of the semester, or skip, or quote skip a quarter. Skip a quarter. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Just announce it. Just announce it and calculate results. Let's announce it and calculate results. I do not recommend skipping years, however. I do not recommend skipping years, however. As every year should bring new challenges and problems for the wizard. The major thing to consider is that every year is a story arc. Is a story arc of the overall narrative. Small stories in each one, all potentially tying together in a single large story arc of the adventure. Small stories in each one, all potentially tied together in a single large narrative. However, you're not reading this for fluff and waffling. First 3 years can let's see. First 3 years can be sped along with session 1, with 1-2 sessions a quarter, skipping quarter 2 and 3 if necessary. Games open up in 4th and 6th year. Up in the 4th to 6th year. 6th year. Yeah, you know. It's kind of like the idea of like, you can like keep a good beat to it and you'll be fine. But like, this is the intent of like why it is the way that it is. It is to have a very certain beat, and every single one of these is its own thing. Which is gonna lead to actually, do we want to do because J.K. Rowling thought RPGs were satanic. Like, you gotta remember, J.K. Rowling's actually relatively Christian. Like, she never approved any of that shit. Like, yeah, she was very. I do remember this. She was actually pretty firmly on the Harry Potter. Harry Potter is good Christian content, effectively. Not necessarily good Christian content, but she was like, D&D is satanic and all that shit. She just didn't like any of it. So she never licensed it. Yeah, no, it's she just never licensed any of it. But recently, I actually know they licensed it to it'll always be weird with fantasy books like Tolkien and Lewis exist. Yeah, and you still got to remember, like, There is no, I don't think there's like, let me do, let's see, Narnia TTRPG. Like, yeah, there was never a Chronicles of Narnia TTRPG. Because, yeah, it just never existed because he was like, this is, you know, satanic media, and they never released it. It was... That's why also, like, The One Ring was also kind of in a weird spate for a while, because it got passed behind a lot of different companies just because the rights there were messy, and Christopher was very, very litigious with the rights. Very, like, you are not making anything that I don't approve of, which was very little. That's why you actually see a lot of like the Bakshi Lord of the Rings stuff. But recently, I do know, apparently there is going to be a... Is it? No, it wasn't, I remember them talking about this not too long ago. Somebody actually brought it up that there was going to be a brand new tabletop game for Harry Potter. Like, there was going to be like a brand new one coming out here soon. I don't know what the... it was kind of on the grapevine kind of thing. I don't know really what happened to it. If it was just kind of a... Dragon Raid exists and Narnia doesn't. Holy shit. It's hard for Narnia because, you know, the story is very specific. They have spared us the HBO spatting on Silmarillion. Kind of funny coming from one called a Satan who believes blindly, if there is any, say Christianity. Oh, there's a Bible 5e. One thing to note about Dragon Raid. Dragon Raid was quite literally made because a bunch of people were like, oh, hey, we think all of this, you know, we want to create Christian role-playing games because we like RPGs, but we understand D&D is satanic. So they made Dragon Raid as a response to that. And if you really, again, if you really actually pay attention to Dragon Raid, you have to remember, Dragon Raid is quite literally just teaching you Bible verses. Like, you have to remember that. And Dragon, like, if you go into the assumption, like, oh, Dragon Raid's a Christian RPG, therefore, it's, holy shit, the Harry Potter game is PBTA, which, link it. Link it if you find it. If it's Magpie, I'm gonna laugh my ass off, though. Bible 5e. Bible, this is a secret, everyone. The Bible is open source. You can do whatever the fuck you want with the Bible. It's great. There's Bible 5e. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. Like, you can do whatever you want with the Bible. Moses is an open source character. If you want to have Moses Beyblade, you totally can, which is canon in the Beyblade universe, everyone. I want every single person in this beautiful world to know that it is canon inside of the Beyblade universe that Moses parted the Red Sea with a Beyblade. It is canonical that Moses parted the Red Sea with a Beyblade. That's always one of those notes you must understand. Yeah, how Moses defeated Egypt with a Beyblade. It's... Man, I love Beyblade lore. Anytime you seem down in life, just remember again, Moses parted the Red Sea with Beyblade. What Beyblade did Jesus use? Let's actually see Jesus Beyblade. Let me see. Oh, technically, Jesus is a mutant in Marvel. I forgot that fact of life. Jesus is also a stand user. That's also a thing we have to remember. Because remember, the entire plot of Steel Ball Run of JoJo Steel Ball Run, the entire plot of this is trying to find the saint. And you gotta remember, Jesus is canon in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure universe. And his magic powers, he has a stand which allows him to resurrect from death. That is literally his stand. God gave Jesus a stand, and it's the ability to not die. And he didn't die. And he sacrificed himself to do things. And I don't think he has the Joestar on there. But yes, technically, he is part of the Saint's Corpse. Represent the biblical, much venerated Son of God in Christianity. Is referred to as, yeah, it's... Canonically speaking, the saint is Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ advises Johnny Joestar in how to deal with his problem. That's another very important part of JoJo canon. Technically, in George Joestar's life, Barry has its own series. Joseph witnesses Jesus. Last advice to Johnny Joestar. Yes. This is always one of those weird bits where you have to remember that, like, JoJo does canonically have Jesus in it. The Demiurge Beyblade. Joshua's son Joseph. So Jesus was a JoJo. No, he doesn't have the Joestar, but he didn't originate it, at least IRC. Drifters has Jesus as the antagonist, an anti-human warlord. Yeah, Jesus pops up every now and again, and I can only assume Jesus Beybladed the Romans. Like, no, Jesus used Bakugan. Let's see. What do we have any funny Bakugan lore? Like, this is important. Is there Bakugan lore, like deep Bakugan lore? Like, is there any deep lore for fucking Bakugan? Which I liked Bakugan. Weird series. Anybody remember Bakugan? I remember Bakugan. Weird time for everybody involved. I just remember all these old Japanime that were just bad, but funny bad. I love weird product tie-ins. So far, I only found Hogwarts in Spanish, no translation yet. I don't think they got very deep into the whole alien thing. I don't think Bakugan. Yeah, I don't remember the deep Bakugan. Yeah, Bakugan was weird because the toys didn't sell very well. Because the toys sucked. They were fun, but they sucked. They always kept breaking. That was the thing. Like the Bakugan, like the little fucking Bakugan pieces broke. Every single one me and my cousin got broke. It was 2000. You got the weird shonen element, specific thing with Beyblade and Bakugan, because they were toy commercials. That was the entire idea. They were toy commercials. They wanted you to buy a thing. Monsumo. Like, yeah, this is Monsumo. That kid just got, okay, I'm like, that kid's just got a fucking Glock. Like, he's ready to pop a bitch. See, the one I remember, Chaotix? No, it wasn't Chaotix. It was, Chaotic? Yeah, Chaotic. Man, Chaotic was weird. And it was one of those things where I like I distinctly remember them shifting art styles halfway through. Like the first and the second season look completely different. And Like they look completely different from one another. And I remember actually like realizing that as a child. I'm like, this looks really stupid, and I don't know why I like this so much. Fucking Shaolin Showdown. Didn't they have like a sequel series to that that was bad and nobody liked it? Man. All of these old ones, because you gotta remember, Chaotic was an isekai. That's something you always gotta remember. Chaotic was a fucking isekai. Duel Masters. Chaotic was just such a weird fucking premise. Like, you always gotta like, fucking, it was such a weird premise. What was the one? Yeah, no, good old fashioned Duel Monsters. Of course, we like Yu-Gi-Oh! God bless Yu-Gi-Oh! What was the one? Stormhawk. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's Stormhawks. Weird Canadian this was Canadian if I remember correctly. God, Stormhawks. Fucking. I remember distinctly one thing about Stormhawks. And it's one of those weird memories that you keep in your life and then you could never get rid of it. And there was this entire sequence where they were like, okay, here's the plan. And they're like iterating the plan very detailed of like, oh, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And they're like playing out the plan, what's going on. And the entire time, I thought they were going to make, like, the joke is everything goes horribly wrong. The entire fucking time. And it just didn't. And I remember even as a child, a tiny little PNG, I was like, the fuck are you doing? This is a setup to a joke, and you just played it completely straight. That's like one of those moments I just have like a distinct memory of. Slugterra RPG? I don't remember Slugterra. Canada produces a lot of stuff. Like, I don't think people realize, like... Slugterra. I've never seen Slugterra. I've never seen this. God, it looks like Stormhawks. I guess that's the point, probably by the same company. See, the thing with like Stormhawks and even this, like, it reminds me of like a PS2 game. You get what I mean? Like, oh yeah, it's like, this is gonna be it's gonna be like the baller PS2 game that nobody remembers playing, and then someone makes like a 4-hour retrospective video on it. Like, that's what I look forward to in life. God, what was the, some other shows I remember. I can't even remember all the shows that I remember watching. Look, there was like counterpart to Stormhawks. Everything is powered by slugs instead of crystals. When the PS3 was the thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, you put this shit on the the PS3, it's gonna sell. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. Like, yeah, you can probably do it. I think your taste in women is born. The evil empress from Stormhawks permanently damaged by taste in women. There was quite a few different shows and stuff that were produced in that like early 2000s, like early to late 2000s, and then like early 2010s. There was a lot of weird shit. And it was like really like half this stuff was really overproduced. And I think everybody wanted to be the next Avatar. If you want me to be honest, I think everyone wanted to be Avatar. Because like, when did Avatar... This shit ran for 2005. It ran for 3 seasons. Zam. Ran for 3 seasons. And people loved Avatar. And Avatar made a shit ton of money, by the way. People, they're still pumping out stuff for Avatar. And I find that very fascinating. Battle Force 5. Never heard of Battle Force 5. Let's Google that and see what pops up. See if See if I unlock any latent memories. Oh, this is fucking Hot Wheels. It's fucking Hot Wheels. Oh god. No. Oh, I know. Remember Oban fucking Star Racers, baby? Oh, Oban Star Racers. Holy shit. That just reminded me of that. I remember watching like a few episodes of this. And I was like so fucking enthralled by it. Because the thing is, like, I didn't like the main character. Like, that was the thing. Like, I didn't like the main characters. I liked it. There was one guy who I swear looked like a Gian motherfucker. Just a fucking brick shithouse of a man in like full mask and everything, and being like, holy shit, he's super cool. Wasn't like, he was like a side character. I remember he just popped up once, being like, I'm in. Fucking Oban Star Racer. The only thing weird with Oban Star Racer is that nobody had noses. Very French, by the way. I remember that. Oban Star Racers was French. Is it French? I'm like 90%. Yeah, English language. French, Japanese anime. Save the world. Yeah. Jetix Europe. Yeah, fucking Jetix. Jetix had the best shit. They're not... Jetix had the absolute best stuff available. I loved it. Every single time it popped up, it was great. God, Oban Star Racer. That's some good. You're unlocking memories now. Oh, fucking Totally Spies. Don't bring up Totally Spies. Year of our Lord 2023. Bring it up fucking Totally Spies. Huntic? Oh, I know what you're talking about with Huntic. Yeah, French-Japanese stuff always ends up being really weird. Huntic, I always remember seeing Huntic, but I never watched it. And I distinctly remember why. Because I think my mom saw like an episode of it or something, and she's like, absolutely not. This is too violent. I think she just saw like one bit of things, and she's like, absolutely not. You're not watching this. I'm like, all right. I think she saw something with like an actual fight, and it was like, yeah, how about no? We don't want you being a weird, violent person. Now I'm just weird. It was Italian. Oh, the fucking Wix. I remember Wix. Anyone remember Wix? Not Wix.com. Let's see if I can find, Welcome to Wix. Are you a Winx Club? It was Winx. That was it. It was Winx Club. Yeah. I always remember seeing the toys for these and being just confused. I was like, hey, Winx Club, because they always looked weird to me. Like, they were too... I don't know. Like, even when I was younger, I understood, like, those proportions are weird. Like, something doesn't seem right. Like, something is wrong with the proportions of everything. I'm like, that's not how any of this works. There was also, let's see, there was also, again, we may as well bring up Totally Spies. This is Totally Spies. Fun fact about Totally Spies. I was always embarrassed watching it because I was like, oh, it's a girls' show. But now, much later in life, much later in life, I have learned that I was not alone. I was not alone as a teenage boy watching this fucking show and activating things in my brain that they should not have been activated. Like, it was wrong what I was watching, but I was in. Case in point. Like, weird he would be and not like stuff out. I'd be, yeah. Like Like, that was like the thing. Like, I couldn't. It's like, you couldn't like say like, oh, I watched Totally Spies. You couldn't say that. That's the thing. You couldn't say like, I watched Totally Spies. That was wrong. You couldn't do that. Like, that wasn't like right or whatever. But then I like paused for a minute. I'm like, oh, like, looking forward in my life, I realized very quickly, I'm like, no, this was totally just fetish material. Also, in case you're wondering, it was Clover. Just want to make sure that you understand that it was Clover. He ruined my taste in women. All right. No. You're off track. You're getting off track. Butare wa Pretty Cure. Fucking Pretty Cure, baby. Pretty Cure, again, I always have, Pretty Cure is one of those shows I have like such a weird relationship with, because I learned about Pretty Cure in high school. And I specifically remember learning about Pretty Cure because I was at a D&D session and I looked over at the woman sitting next to me. She was, her name was Natalie. And I looked over at Natalie and I was like, oh, because I was like looking over. I was just kind of, it was just, we were in a blank state. Like, no one, we were just kind of like waiting. We were just kind of waffling around a little bit. And I looked kind of down at her phone because she's fucking with her phone. Mind you, I am like 15 at this time. I'm like 15. She is like 30. And she is looking on her phone. She's on Tumblr. Yes, Tumblr before it got bought by Yahoo. She is looking at supernatural smut. Yes, the show Supernatural. She's looking at supernatural smut and Pretty Cure stuff. That was all of what her fucking thing was. All her Tumblr was Pretty Cure and smut. And I remember looking down, I was like, what the fuck? And I remember I was like, what the fuck? And she's just like, well, you shouldn't look at people's phones a little bit if you don't want something weird. And I'm like, bitch, I am 15. Why are you looking at supernatural smut? And I'm like, oh, what's that show? Because I'm like, deflect. Don't say you saw the gay porn. Don't say you saw the incest brother gay porn. And he's like, oh, it's Pretty Cure. I was like, oh, I've never seen Pretty Cure. My friend just introduced me to Madoka, though, and I really enjoyed it. She's like, you should watch Pretty Cure. Then I did. I'm like, wow. This shit's amazing. Holy shit. Been a long time since I watched Pretty Cure. Like, that's kind of like one of those weird things of like, during my high school years, I watched a shit ton of just random shows. Because I got really into anime in high school. Really into it. And I fucking watched everything. Anything. I was emotionally destroyed by Clannad. Like, oh god, Clannad. Oh lord. I watched Canon. Canon was... I didn't like Canon as much. Liked the visual novel of Canon. Canon visual novel is very good. Show, not so much. Very weird looking. But like... yeah, there was a few shows. My friend was obsessed with a Fate Stay Night, so he was like, he got a bunch of us to watch Fate Stay Night. And then he was like, then he realized like I was the one who like clicked on it. Because again, fun fact, I had lied and said I had watched Neon Genesis Evangelion. I had never watched another anime. I'm like, yeah, I've watched Evangelion. And he's like, cool, you're gonna love this show. I'm like, okay. I had never watched Eva before that. My cousin had shown me like half an episode of it once when I was like 10. I just knew Evangelion. I remember I like watched the entire thing and it broke me emotionally. So that's always like, that's another like connection to Evangelion I have, of me lying to like one of my best friends, to like one of the people who would become like my best friend throughout high school. Like, good times. Watched a lot of anime, played a lot of visual novels though. Never watched too much Mahou Shoujo. Mahou Shoujo, you gotta remember this, like Mahou Shoujo for a while there was actually not really extensive. Like, there was clearly Mahou Shoujo stuff, but not like what happened after it, if that makes sense. After Maguka, after Maguka came out, that shit, like, everyone needed a magical girl show. And, like, if you really look at it, a lot of things are magical girls now because of Maguka. Because Madoka made, and let me reiterate this real fast, Madoka made a fuck ton of money. Madoka printed fucking money. And that shit is, people fucking love Madoka. They've never even heard of shit like Nanaha before, or they've never even heard of things like, it's always funny when you talk about people being like, what's your favorite magical girl show? They'll say Madoka if they're guys, or they'll say Sailor Moon if they're girls. Like, do you like Nanaha? No. I don't know what Nanaha. Do you like Pretty Cure? I don't know what Pretty Cure is. Like, you always can tell a real fucking weeb being like, what's your favorite Mahou Shoujo? And being like, I like Pretty Cure. That person is deranged. Remember that. What's Madoka? Google it. Never touched anything else. Yeah. It's because it came out at just kind of like the right time, and it did the 3-episode rule perfectly. Did you watch any of the Lego shows or movies that existed during that period? Not really. Not really. Again, I got really into anime in high school. Like, in my sophomore year of high school, I just was like anime man. A couple of my friends are still broken because this one guy got us all into fucking anime, and now we're all just broken shells of human beings. So I have switched primarily to manga at this point. I read a lot of manga. All the show about the girl. Oh, always the show about the girl getting her head getting eaten by a clown. Madoka's a lot more than that, but yes, it's that show. It's the bite of 87, everybody. It's a Freddy Fazbear moment. Truly, we were Freddy Fazbear. In honor of the movie, I will be making a Freddy Fazbear role-playing experience. Scott Coffin, hire me. I will make you the... Scott Kaufman, you could send Scott this. I will make the Five Nights at Freddy's tabletop role-playing game experience. Scott, just hit me up, bro. I am ready to go. I know what to do. I am ready. We are going to... Then Scott step down as franchise head. He sort of it. He does. No, like, the thing is, like, currently right now, Scott approves everything in the fanverse. He controls all the merchandising for Five Nights. Like, every single thing merchandising-wise goes through Scott. Like, he has the final call and all that. I don't think he runs, like, day-to-day operations, but it's like, if you want to do something, Scott has to okay it. Most when it comes to things like the fanverse and things like that. Oh, so he doesn't work directly on it. Yeah, because, like, the thing is, like, you gotta remember what the fanverse is. Actually, I should say, do people know what the Five Nights at Freddy's fanverse is? The Frediverse, you know, the multiverse of Freddy. The Bite of 87, the Fredster edition. Okay, now, one thing to note about this is what they actually do is very simple. So you get these guys, usually they're pretty young, too. They make a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of like demo game. They get the okay to be part of the fanverse. If they become part of the fanverse, it's Scott or the company who pretty much owns the rights of the Frediverse. I believe it's Scott is the one who okays it. He actually pays them a good chunk of money. But the thing is, he gets all the merchandising rights to everything. I know it was JR's, I believe. I want to say JR's. Like, JR's, for example, anytime someone buys a plushie of one of the JR characters, he gets the money for it. Nobody else does. The actual creators of it don't. But mind you, the Five Nights at Freddy's fanverse is also apparently a cutthroat world of deception, lies, pain, and suffering. So just remember that, everybody. Ooh. I've had to learn a lot about the Five Nights at Freddy's fanverse, because I've been keeping up with the what's the name? Yeah, Theft King. This fucking dude. I've been keeping up with this guy for a while. This shit's money. Like, this guy gets pretty consistent, like, pretty consistent views and everything, and he's made some good ones. And he is always up and people are always like shitting on him for good reason, because he's a fucking idiot. Google wants you to play. Are you drinking beer? Always. Google wants you to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Don't you know? I'm always playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Wuso. Don't you know I have my dual disc right here? Let me bring out my dual disc right here. Ah, shit. Fucking cards. Sorry, everybody. I'm switching to a Yu-Gi-Oh only channel. I will be playing exclusively. I'll be exclusively playing Toon decks because I'm a cretin. Let's see. I played Magic for a while. I was a disgusting red. I played red white mostly. I played a lot of red white. Then I shifted to white black because I enjoyed being white black, because I am. Because of my playing, I've never seen those guys get in, but blew my mind. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh fucking scares me, by the way, everybody. Yu-Gi-Oh scares the shit out of me. I have no idea what the hell people are doing half the time in Yu-Gi-Oh, but I like to pretend I do. So. What to do? During the testing season, the Wizards are preparing and readying themselves for a variety of tests, problems, for a variety of exams they have to take. They're readying themselves for a variety of exams they have to take. One of the exams are split up. Or let's see, exams are split up into two types. How do I want to adventure? I should say adventure, and actually we do scholarly. Scholarly and adventures. Scholarly exams have, let's see, scholarly exams have each of the students, have each of the wizards choose an academic. Let's see, scholarly exams have each of the wizards choose an academic development skill. Academic development skill to test against one. To test. Scholarly exams have each of the wizards choose an academic development skill to test. To take an exam on. When taking an exam has all of the wizards. Taking an exam has all of the wizards make a test using that development skill. Who development skill at difficulty and at TN1 4 up. Actually, TN1 4 up. 4 up. Whoever succeeds has passed the exam. Who has passed the exam? However, grades are on a curve. Grades are always on a curve. Let's see. However, grades are always on a curve. Whoever scores the most amount of successes, will receive +2 development skill points in that category. While second place earns only +1. While second place earns +1, everyone lower scoring, second place earns +1. Everyone else receiving nothing from the exam. However, if a wizard fails the exam, they'll need to they'll retake the test. If they succeed, make up the results. There we go. Well, mind you, every single wizard gets to choose the development skill that they want to kind of test on. Finally, adventure exams have a task assigned to the wizards. They must complete to pass. Complete the pass. These take place during These have the wizards undertake their own expeditions and adventures, their own expeditions and journey. They're actually their own undertake their own endeavors to complete the test. The herbology professor may demand the creation of a particular and volatile potion. The Arcanium teacher may demand the use learning and using a new spell. Let's see. The Arcanium teacher may demand learning a new spell from an old grimoire. And anything else demanding that the wizards They will all receive. They will all receive 3 development skill point, 3 development skills, 3 development skill points to as they wish. Actually, 3 development skill points to distribute as they wish, and 2 magical aptitude. Actually, All receive plus 3 development skill points to wherever they wish. It's kind of like, yes, here's your grand and intoxicating quest. That's the plan. Go on a quest, do something, get the thing, pass your adventure, do something important. I could think that I played green and made a deck called the Zoo that prints creatures fascinating and kill them. Nowadays, new cards are strange and mimetic mutations of things. The way to win a Yu-Gi-Oh! Is bring along your designated player. God damn it. Like business, we're gonna take it from no, I'm not gonna try. Or anime bullshit, like Synchro Panic. You will like Synchro. Oof. So Harry Potter's and in Britain and their whole thing is about good breeding. Do you think a bunch of Why? Why'd you have to word it that way, Solid? Why? Why are you the way you are? Stop it. Get some help. But why? I love synchro summoning. I think you should synchro summon. Have no fear, everyone. I'm going to synchro summon my life away. Fine tuning. Do well, get rewarded. I'm not 100% on the scholarly exam section because effectively what this is you're going to be testing in your very particular thing, trying to get the best results. You're going to get more points and you're going to do better if you do well, but everyone's going to be testing their own thing that they're good at. So it's like you kind of want to work together to kind of get the most out of everything, but you also kind of want to work against one another. And it's like, well, I've put everything in stemma. It's like, okay, you put everything in stemma. It's like, but the second we take a physical exam course, it's like, yeah, you're fucked and you're going to get kind of screwed. So it's like, you want to spread things out or you want to kind of work with your friends to kind of plan things ahead of time a little. That's kind of the only thing I could see going wrong there, is that people don't plan ahead as much. I should say, actually, no, we don't really need that. That's kind of how we're going to be doing things. Testing season, exam season has the wizards undergo a large year-ending quest, a quest of some variety, allowing them to flex their skills and their unique approaches to a situation. However, mid-year adventures should be tied to particular classes or events as well. If everyone is in a physical education course, let's see, if everyone is in a physical education course one quarter, then allow them then throw a particularly nasty challenge. A challenge of surviving wizard ball. Of surviving wizard death ball. Nasty challenge of surviving wizard ball. Let's see, how particularly nasty challenge of surviving wizard ball against jocks. Or if everyone is taking a stemma course, throw them or if everyone is taking a magical development. Let's say everyone is taking a course for better magic. Have them go out and find lore and problem and lore to uncover, lore to find spells or defeat rivals in duels. No. Kind of the idea is, hey, create adventure. That's your most important job, is create an adventure to do stuff in. And all the classes and everything feed into that. You could sink her from the grave and you can't negate a monster and you'll like it. I always wonder, the whole destined orphan thing comes up because it sounds pretty sad. You're the most important person in the world, your childhood sucks, and you have no parents. Fun fact. That's an incredibly common trope across a vast majority of like mythology and a variety of things. Because if you really look at it, look at a vast majority of mythological heroes. Even if you go all the way back to things like the King Arthur myth, where it is, hey, King Arthur did not grow up in a happy household exactly. He got whisked away when he was a baby to protect himself, as Uther Pendragon was under siege by evil people. And only later on, was a teenager, does he figure out that, oh wait, I am the true king of England, or whatever. Pull the sword from the stone and all that bullshit. But then you also can go further back. Then you start looking at things like the old, like things like Hercules, for example. Well, Hercules did technically have parents, but he was the son of Zeus, which he didn't really have a pleasant upbringing. Or you have things such as, if you go even further back, you get things such as Achilles, in which he just kind of grew up alone because, well, it turns out when you're an immortal dumb fuck, people don't like you very much. You can find parts of that story in a lot of different, because you're the most important person in the world, you're alone, and it's always a tragedy. 'Tis the nature of things. It is what it is. Let's see, Book of Wisdom. I feel like I should cut one of the electives to only do 4 blocks. No, I'll probably have to do some maths to make sure that everything works properly. If we do it like this, we add in an image right there, so it goes boom, boom, go right next to each other. Looks like it. Break it up a little bit more. Is there anything else comes to? Actually, I should do. Since we're here, we may as well do this. Oop. Trainings. During their adventures, the wizards will encounter situations and people who are willing to teach them more esoteric. These are often off the books. These are often off the books, but still require blocks of time. Still require blocks of time as well. Still require blocks of time. These when learning through these sources, not only will the wizard need to prove themselves worthy of learning this, but they'll potentially need to keep it hidden from peers or teachers. Off the cuff skills is scoring a fortunate actually, the final method of getting off the cuff skills is attempting an action. Attempting an action with no clear chance of success. No, I want to do. The final method of getting off the cuff skills is attempting actions with the intent of learning from it, increasing the difficulty. Action. I'm like, maybe I can add in something like some BRP shit in there, but no, I don't. Esoteric arts. There we go. This will work for what I'm doing. Because the entire idea here would... No, we'll do top. Nope. Euro, there we go. Odd trading into... Side note, creating adventures mid-year. How did I do that? No, pacing and beat. If the 80s were with the satanic panic, are the 2010s going to be the moral panic? No, the 2010s were not the moral panic at all. If you want to say the 2030s, no. 2020s, no. No, I don't think we're ever going to have another like strict satanic panic. Because the satanic panic was a part of a very select time and a very select group of people doing it. And those people just don't... I don't want to word it. Those people don't exist really anymore. I mean, Chick Track, you can still find Chick Tracks, but it's become such a meme at this point that, like, what are you gonna do? It's a fucking meme. Nobody takes him seriously when it comes to that. And because nobody takes him really seriously with it, it's like, oh boy, I'm gonna try to do something, you know, weird, and no, it's not gonna work. No one will take it seriously. That makes sense. Okay. Really, if we really want to be particular about it, just have exploration in the conflicts. Because we already kind of explained how leveling up works. You just go through the years. It's just going to be exploration and conflicts next. Okay. That's all we really have to worry about. Those are the next two things. There's not really much else to really do. I'm going to call it there for tonight. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Godspeed, good luck. See you all tomorrow, actually. Yes, I will see you all tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to be going over Shadow Dark. Shadow Dark is going to be interesting to say the least. Because Shadow Dark is Shadow Dark really does exist.